Thanks, Frank. I'm Andreas Olmes, a partner at HTGF Gründerfonds. I'm a physicist. I worked in the field of ophthalmology, eye care, 2 years as a manager of an eye clinic in Cologne, 4 years founding and managing my own company with ultrasounds in the back of the eye. And thereafter 3 years in the sales business in Nuremberg for the interlaced femtosecond laser. And afterwards, since 2008, at the HTGF Gründerfonds as a seed investor. So who are we? We are the HTGF Gründerfonds, and we, in our last third fund, we raised 319 million euros with 35 investors from the German-based industry. You can see the logos here. And we did the final closing in April this year. What did we do before, including the third fund? We have been founded in 2005, so 2 years before I started at HTGF Gründerfonds. We did 560 investments since then, 560, that means 40 each year, 40 each year. We have 42 business investors. These are the fund investors because they changed some changed between the funds. In total, we have around about 900 million euros under management. We did already 100 exits and 2 IPOs. So that's our success story. But there's one point which is much more interesting, and that's this number. 1.9 billion euros have been created by us from external investors which financed our companies. So we did the seed financing, and afterwards 1.9 billion euros came from external investors into these companies. And that shows you and us that this works. There has been a study in 2017 where the investors in Europe have been measured on the numbers of seed investments, and you can see here HTGF Gründerfonds is the largest one in Europe. Just for your information, of course, this is based on 40 each year. That's obvious. This is one of our very famous meetings. It's the HTGF Gründerfonds Family Day each year, where all our portfolio companies are invited, plus all investors. And all investors means all German investors are coming. This is the investors meeting in Germany, plus a lot of external investors from Europe and from the US and Asia. We have more than 1,000 attendees and very exciting and interesting keynotes. And of course, with super successful HTGF Gründerfonds startups presenting here in that left area of the Kamea Hotel in Bonn. Yeah, how do we work? It sounds easy, but it's in practice it's not so easy. We, unfortunately, otherwise I wouldn't stand here anymore, don't know the solutions to the founders' problems. But we listen very well to you. It's like with you. You mentioned it before. You listen to your founders. What's your wishes? What do you want to do? Which is your market, and so on. We know that you have to improve continuously, and therefore we really try to understand your business. So we are not the investor just looking on the numbers. We are the investors looking very deep into your business model. Who is your customer, and so on. We have learned that success comes from trust, and therefore rely on very good relationships to the founders. But of course, sometimes these relationships are damaged, but we try to repair them during the time. We are now really good in business development. These are the slides after in the end. Nowadays we call it product market fit, and therefore we openly search for the truth. And the truth is that what customers tells you. And we believe that you don't always have to reinvent the wheel, so we add value, of course. So where are we located? I think all these tech transfer institutions like Leibniz Tech Transfer are here in that region, including exist programs. So let's say before the prototype or during the prototype time. And here, that's the region where we are located, in that part. And after High-Tech Gründerfonds, there are the growth financing rounds. How do you get our investment? We are limited to 3 million euros in total for each company. So we are and with the beginning in the seed round 600K to 1 million. Therefore, we are forced to cooperate with all these programs and all these additional investors. We have to work together with them. There's no exclusion. There are just two formal criteria. One is your company has to be younger than 3 years, and there has to be less than 500K of investors' money to be in the company. But program money is excluded. Okay, these are the formal steps of the investment. You submit a business plan, or a summary, PowerPoint, something like that. We have a quick look on these documents within 1 week, and then we internally decide whether to work further or not. For example, all these companies being older than 3 years, we have to tell them it doesn't fit. And afterwards, we go into the due diligence with you, and first asking some questions, and thereafter, if everything is fine, you will be invited to do a pitch at our in Bonn at our office. And if this is fine, we decide to give you a letter of intent, something like that, or a term sheet, and then we are looking for an expert, and there's another meeting with the expert. And if this is fine, there is another pitch again in our office. We call it a pre-pitch, where all our internal colleagues are asking questions. And if this is fine, you have a third pitch, or fourth pitch in front of our committee. And this is very useful because you have already performed this pitch 3 times before, so you're used to it, and the probability to get an okay from our committee is higher than 90% because of the steps before. We are asking for a 20-minute pitch, 10 minutes technology, 10 minutes business case, but we are asking questions. So it's always longer than 1 hour. But if we don't ask questions, it is 20 minutes, not more. Definitely not more, because that's a limitation in our committee. I think it's a good idea, because our criteria are still high. We are looking, as I mentioned before, we are looking for a working prototype. We are looking for a good understanding of your customers and things like that. And it makes definitely sense to work with experts before.
Thank you.
It's 2 steps or 2 parts. Most of my colleagues have a technical background, so they understand the technology by themselves. But in most cases, let's say 99%, we are asking for an external expert. And he gets the task to ask all these questions and put his input into the parts where we are not so good. And this happens at your company, the expert meeting. Okay, and then the investment committee in the end. So that's it. And in the end, it takes time from 2 months to 9 months, depends on you. And that's it. But, of course, there's always a but. First, let's see what we see every day. That's what we see every day. Still, this slide is, let's say, you saw it in the very first presentation already. It's really old. It's 6-7 years old, but it hasn't changed. Incomplete business plans. It's not a problem for us because we are a seed investor, but just to show you what we see every day. Utopian sales and earnings planning. Solution in search of a problem, still. Good things will prevail. So, wird schon funktionieren. Competitive advantage, neither protected by IP nor head start. Very low financial commitment of the founders. Here's a difference. Here's a small step, a larger step. Resistance to consulting, fantasy of omnipotence. Quite often. I translated it, locust phobia. I think it's, you only understand it from if you're a native German, the Heuschreckenphobie, and fear of exit. So what's in common with these?
Lack of knowledge of your market.
Yeah, that's it. Very good. So the non-knowledge of your customer, of your market. And nowadays we are a bit smarter. So we now have access to studies and have already done our own study. And here you can see CB Insights evaluation from February 2018 based on 101 post-mortem companies in the US. The failure reasons. With 42% no market need. It's unbelievable. Run out of cash is the same in the end. Not the right team, okay, that's a good point. Get out competed. Oh, there is another product in the market much better than yours. Pricing, very, very same. User unfriendly product. Product without a business model, 17%. Poor marketing, ignore customers, 14%. It's strange. Product mistimed. So it's really strange. And this was a base for an internal evaluation, and we found that in the hardware business there are around about 75 to 80% of our companies who didn't make it had the same problems. That means no product market fit. The rest is, let's say, around about 10% is, or 10 to 15% is stress within the management team, so they don't like each other anymore, and 10% is technology. But around about 75 to 80% is no product market fit. It's unbelievable. And that's the reason why the next slides, why I will present the next slides. So many founders think, otherwise we wouldn't finance them and they wouldn't start working. They already have product market fit. But very often, 80%, that's not true. So the question is, how does product market fit feel at all? And all the new slides for Frank. And there's a very, very good text from Mark Andreessen, from Andreessen Horowitz. You can always feel when product market fit is not happening. How does it feel? What do you think? You don't sell products, yeah, but that's a fact. How does it feel? Very good. I have that case too. The founder wouldn't buy his product by himself, even if it is B2C, and it would make sense to buy it. Yeah, that's a good example. So the customers aren't quite getting value out of the product. So why should I buy that? Word of mouth isn't spreading. Nobody's talking about. Usage isn't growing that fast. Press reviews are kind of blah blah. The sales cycles takes much too long and lots of deals never close. So that's a feeling of I don't sell. And how does it feel if product market fit is there? Now it's very interesting. And my point is, this is digital. There is no slightly movement from no product market fit to product market fit. You have it or you have it not. So how does it feel if you have product market fit? And that's a basic problem of the founders. They have never realized that. If you have realized it one time, you will know. What's a good KPI? It's the length of the line in front of your office door of customers asking for your product in meters. Very easy. Okay, I'm a bit kidding, but that shows you what I'm talking about. How many customers are outside your door in the morning at 8 o'clock asking for your product? How long is the line of the customers? Is there one or every day 10? And if you have had such a product, and I had it in Nuremberg, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. We had one of these products. It was just illumination tool for stopping keratoconus in eye care. So it's a problem with your cornea. It's the front of your eye, and it stopped it in any case. If you don't do that treatment, you have to get a new corneal replantation. That's really an issue. And we had been in London first time presenting this tool. And after the first day, we have been there for 2 people, with 2 people, and I think we had 15 of these tools with us. After this day, both of us had 10,000 euro package, 10,000 US dollar packages in every pocket of our clothes. Because customers said, I want to have it. I will go out to my bank, get the money, and will be back in 1 hour. Without any CE mark. Now you should ask, how can you sell it without a CE mark? So what's the answer? Oh, no. Even doctors have to buy CE marked products. Now we sold it to doctors outside of Europe. Even US-based doctors asked for us. They're asking us, can you please send it to Mexico? And my friend in Mexico will give it to me. So I said, yeah, we could, but we shouldn't do that because we would like to get the FDA approval. So we didn't do that. But we sold it to Asia and Saudi Arabia. And for 2 days. Yeah, that's okay. It's long ago. Long ago. And it was allowed.
I just wanted to say something. I understand it. And for most of the technological developments we see nowadays, it might be like this, but there are also cases where you only need or want 1 or 2 customers, and this might be good enough. I mean, for instance, I work with security, and then you maybe only want 1 government.
Yeah, but that's fine. But in that case, your 1 or 2 customers have to be happy. And the description is like that. Customers are buying the product just as fast as you can make it. Usage is growing just as fast as you can add more servers. with software products. Money from customers is piling up in your company checking account. You're hiring sales and customer support staff as fast as you can. Reporters are calling because they have heard about your hot new thing and they want to talk to you about it. You start getting Entrepreneur of the Year awards from Harvard Business School. Investment bankers, and that's the key, why I'm presenting it to you, are staking out your house. And that's the point. And here's another one, Peter Reinhardt. I like that statement very much. For the positive case, he said, product market fit feels like stepping on a landmine. So it's like it makes boom. And that's what product market fit feels like. And now I would like to tell you what is product market fit anyway, or what is the difference between product market fit and sales, because this is a common mistake. What do you think? Where's the difference between product market fit and sales? Is it the same? It's this. You have these steps. Test 1. Is this a problem of a customer? Is this a solution, what you're offering? Can we sell this solution? So it's a customer discovery and a customer validation. And then you're pivot and you're going around. And that's the search. You're looking for product market fit. You're looking for the situation where the product fits your market. And here, that's product market fit. This one, the middle. Before, you don't have product market fit. As soon as you have product market fit, you can switch from search to execution. And then, can we repeat selling the solution? And can we scale our business? So from my perspective, this sale thing, it's very easy. The really difficult thing is to get the product market fit. Because as soon as you have product market fits, the line of your customers is 10 meters every day. And you don't have a problem, you just have to manage it. And if you're a founder, my recommendation is hire good guys to deal with this problem of managing customers. Your learning curve will be much higher. But you as a founder are in charge of the search, of the finding of product market fit. So please don't start with my idea and this could be a solution to a problem like this, and then making a business a plan and then look for financing, and if you get the financing, starting testing it with your customers. Don't do that. Start with the customers. So, and fail fast and focus on cash. Focus on cash means be very careful with your cash, because cash here is very expensive, because it's your cash. It's exist cash from exist program, or it's a Leibniz price cash, just 50K. You should try to focus on finding the product market fit with this cash. So, next question. How can I find product market fit? You definitely start with an idea and a thesis, a theory, a plan or a model. Model is the best way to describe it. How you think your customer is defined, and which problem he has, and how you can solve that problem, and why only you, and how you can make money with it, and how the customer can make money with it. That's always the same since years. So it's customer, problem, solution, making money. You and the customers. It's always the same. There's nothing else. And to get that, you have to set up a model. You can start within 1 day. You need 1 day for such a model. Then go out to the customer and test it. And that means fail fast. So if you are really thinking about founding a company, set up that model within 1 day and go out to the customer. You yourself, go to the customer and try if this works or not. And that's the idea behind fail fast. And of course, it's focusing on cash. It's very cash efficient. And you can do it without having that product. The best example are these US founders. And I made this experience with my company too. We were 2 years old, and then they hit up a website from a competitor. So I said, oh God, what shall we do? He's much better than we. So I just called him, cold call to the US, to that founder, competitor. And I asked some questions, and he answered all these questions. And in the end, I said, can I buy it? Or how much does it cost? And can I buy it? And he answered, no, you can't buy it. I said, huh? But there's a website. Yeah, I just set up this website to test whether this future product will work or not. That's unbelievable. That's 100% against German thinking of setting up a product. But it's the right way, because it's a failure to develop something which the customer doesn't need. So, how can I find product market fit, even with 2 customers or having no product? And that's a very new approach. We found it, my colleague Gregor Heidel told me 2 years ago, the time where I just stopped to do anything more about that because there was no success. He said, let's try to ask one single customer only. Tell the founders they should describe one customer only. Within this new approach, we found that. From Raoul Vora, he's the founder and CEO of Superhuman. It's a speedy email client, very fast email client. And we already tested it on I think 5 to 6 portfolio companies, and it works. And it's very interesting. It's just this. And it's very useful with all these founders already having customers and a product. So they can do it much faster. But when you don't have a product, try to set up a mock-up or something like that, how to describe your product, and go to your customers and perform this customer journey. And it's just 4 simple questions. What do you think is the first question? It's this. How would you feel if you could no longer use our product? And the answers are very easy. Here's no choice of writing something. It's a multiple choice. It's very disappointed, somewhat disappointed, or not disappointed. That's the basic question. And then, question 2, what type of people do you think would most benefit from our product? And that's very interesting, because this pushes the customers to describe themselves. So you get a description of of course, this group, customers, from their perspective. You don't have to think about what's the main thing of these customer group. They describe themselves. Next question. What is the main benefit you receive from our product? And then you force these customers to tell you why he likes your product. And in the end, how can we improve our product for you? That's the journey. There are coming some more slides. And of course, that's the KPI, key performance indicator. Group A has to be larger than 40%. That's a rough number. If the group A is lower than 40%, don't start developing or selling. Then if you have more than 40%, you have product market fit. Of course, this is what Superhuman got as a result. Not disappointed, 26, somewhat disappointed, 52, very disappointed, 22. So group A, very disappointed, if you take away the product, is 22%. It sounds low, but this is already high. They already have 22% customers telling you they are very, very disappointed if you take your product away. That's not the standard. I think the standard is maybe 5% or 0%, something like that. Because the product is not ready. It doesn't fit the market. So the next step is, it's very easy, it's just number crunching. Assign a persona, you know the persona thing, the description of a user, to each person who filled out the survey. For example, a founder is a persona, manager is a persona, a salesman is a persona. I'll come to you. Eliminate all personas in group B and C, that's a somewhat and not disappointed, which not exist in group A. That means just focus on the personas who are very disappointed. Eliminate all the others. Recalculate the share of group A on this reduced database. It's of course higher than before because you eliminated personas in group B and C, but very often still below 40%. It's just number crunching, but it's the first step of focusing on your best customer group A. And the result with Superhuman was it increased from 22 to 32%. Just by eliminating the personas who are in group B and C, so not in group A. Step 2, set up a detailed persona of the group A personas, customers. That means transform the answers to question 2, so how do you describe yourself, of the group A users only into a detailed persona. Do you remember the second question? I just mentioned it. What type of people do you think would most benefit from our product? What type of people? From the group A users only. Why? I already mentioned it. Because they describe themselves using the words that matter most for them. That's very, very interesting. And this lets you know how the product is working for and the language that resonates with them. It's even very interesting from marketing aspects. So you still you don't have a higher number, but you have a detailed description. And for Superhumans, group A user, it's like this. Nicole is a hardworking professional. She may be an executive, founder, manager, or in business development. These are the personas from before. And she works long, and she realizes she could be better, and will occasionally blah, 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 blah. Now you know your best customer already much better. Next step. They're still below 40%. Convert on the fence users into fanatics. On the fence users are group B users, but who of group B? Extract the feedback on the third question on the survey. That was the main benefit you receive from our product, again from group A only. And select the most common answers. And now you have a pretty good description of the main benefits of your product for the group A customers. So it's like speediness, and so on. Just the benefits for your group A customers. Then put away all the group C users who are not disappointed. Forget about them in total. Don't care about them. That means focus on group B, the somewhat disappointed, to convert them into fanatics. Fanatics are group A users. And then segment, extract the group B, somewhat disappointed users, referring to the same main benefits as the group A users. So you have the group A users with the benefits, and then group B users with maybe the same benefits or additional main benefits, but just select the group B users with the same main benefits as the group A. So it's a subgroup. And this is like this. So the very disappointed at Superhuman, they were set 32%, so not disappointed 23%, and these are the somewhat disappointed. And the somewhat disappointed with the main benefit, like the very disappointed, are these. And now try to convert them to go into this direction. Okay, this is the same as that. Forget about them. We forgot about them, and now forget about them. Don't care them anymore. It sounds easy, but it means if this customer calls you, tell him, we don't have a product for you. Yeah, you should do that. And and most founders can't do that because it sounds so attractive. But push yourself into the direction to tell them, we don't have a product for you, sorry. Now try to convert them into this, and this will be done like this. It's a fourth question. The fourth question was, how can we improve our product for you? And within these answers to the first question, for this group B segment, find the main things these users hold back, or what you could do to improve that. And with this clear understanding of the main benefits and the missing features, all you have to do is funneling these insights back into the building of your product. And now you have to change your product. And I will explain it on the next one. And that's a description. I made it by myself. It's a bit technical. But question one was, very disappointed, how would you feel? Very disappointed, somewhat disappointed, not disappointed. Group A is what you focus on. These are the personas. This is the persona of Group A. Persona 1, Persona 2, Persona 1, Persona 2, Persona 3. Here the same. Forget about them. And then the benefits of the Group A. And this is a subsegment of Group B having the same benefits as Group A. And these are the improvements the customers tell you for Group A, and this for Group B. And now the thing is, put 50% of your time on this, and 50% of your time on this, on implementing these improvements into your product. That does not mean just focus on that, or just focus on that. Put 50% on the already very happy customers and 50% on this group. Why? Because if you don't do that, you will lose them. And if you don't do this, you will not get new customers. So you have to do both. And finally, repeat this process and make the product market fit score the most important metric. That was what Superhuman did. They said we have just one single KPI on top level, And this is the number of the percentage of customers who are very disappointed if we take the product away from them. And of course, here are some details. Be careful that you don't ask the customers you have already asked for the survey again, because then you're making mistakes. Track it weekly, so it's not a one thing. One thing is you have to do it repeatedly, and it's the same, yeah. And that was the result with Superhuman. This after number crunch, they started with 23. After number crunching, next quarter, next quarter, next quarter.
So 100%.
100%.
I mean, the question is okay.
Of course, if you just have 2 customers, it's difficult to talk about this and this. But in that case, you just have 0 or 50% or 100%. In that case, I would say 50% is too low. Yeah, but the questions are totally identical. Totally identical. As I mentioned in the very beginning, do this survey on a paper base, and this works. That's 100% the thing. Don't start developing the product before you know what the customer wants. Set up the specs of your product as a model in the very beginning, and with these specs go to the customer. And then ask him, let's imagine you would have this product. Would you be very disappointed, or how would you feel if you would take our product away? And in most cases, they say, it doesn't, it's not the issue, and that shows you that your model with which you started is not a product market fit model. And then you ask this customer the second, third, and fourth question, because hopefully he is in the B group B subsegment where you can improve him. And we have had one case where we did the financing and a Series A already, and the product was rolled out in the market. It's robots in the Saturn markets, and everybody was fine with that's it, and let's put money in it to increase sales. We said we are not quite sure, because we didn't get the answers from the founder to our questions about the use case. And then we asked the founder, please perform this survey on your existing customers. And there was no single very disappointed customer. And this is 1 year ago. And this made a mind change within the founder's head. He stopped it immediately. He stopped immediately sales and development. And he got in very big trouble with all the other investors and shareholders. But he could say, yeah, HTGF has said it. And then he set up this model testing thing. In the very beginning, he tested his use case, one use case in 9 months. That was the Saturn case. And after 6 months with 3 workshops in our house, he was in, the KPI was 6 use cases each month. He started with 1 use case, testing 1 use case in 9 months. And after 6 months, he was in a situation where he tested 6 use cases in 1 month. And how did he do it? He told everybody in his company, we now have to switch on business model testing. They subdivided the whole staff into I think it was three to four people groups, and each group tested one use case. That was the reason why he could test in parallel. And they, for each use case, they didn't develop the product to the end for this use case, and they solved that problem with a wizard solution. So the robot was controlled by one employee in the back. So the robot moves like that at the customers, in a hotel or in a wine store, but it was moved by an employee in the back of the office, and the voice too. There were two people, one moving the robot, and the other one was an expert in that market, so a wine expert or a hotel expert. And that was the reason why they could test it so much, and it's incredible fast. Imagine from 1 in 9 to 6 in 1 month. And now they got the use case. They got it in a complete different field. And in between, they realized, by themselves, we shouldn't go out testing this use case because we already made the experience with the old tested use cases that it would work, but we don't make money with it. So they had to skip it. So they started to do a very easy calculation of that use case before testing it. This idea doesn't come from us. Didn't come from us. It was their idea, and that increased the efficiency and the velocity much more. You don't, because I heard that question before, you don't promise anything. You tell the customer it's a mock-up. You don't promise that this product can be bought next day. You don't promise your customers anything. You just test. And the customers like that. They really like it, because then they feel like experts. But don't make the mistake to promise something. But we said, no, we don't have product market fit, because there's no single customer, they paid for the product, there's no single customer who is very disappointed if you take the product away. You have to stop it. It makes no sense. It's burning money.
So what you say here is also important, because responsibility is not only on the developer side, but also on the investor side.
Absolutely.
You're a responsible investor when you just give away money and don't look at what people are.
What's the KPI for money? If you're a founder and you get 1 million euros, what's your KPI? It's a difficult question. It's a number. It's not. Most founders answer, it's a runway. With 1 million, I have money till October 2020. But that's the wrong answer. The correct answer is the number of pivots you can do with that money. That's the right answer. Pivot is changing your business model.
Yeah.
That's the right answer. It's always finding product market fit. If you don't have product market fit, stop. And if you don't get money anymore, stop that company. Makes no sense. It's a combination of setting up models very fast, asking customers very fast, improving your model with the answers very fast, and going back to the customers again very fast. And you have to be very, very open. And that's the point why, or the reason why only founders can do that job, because no employee has the power to do a pivot or to ask for a pivot. It's your job. let's go back to the example of the robot in the final use, hopefully final use case, which seems to work. The first impression from the founders got from this new group of customers was, oh, that's great. We are looking for that for months. We already tried to develop it by ourselves. We are very interested. You don't need any product for that. You can go to them just with a sheet of paper where you describe your thing, and you just tell them, okay, we are working at the Fraunhofer Institute or whatsoever, or Ferdinand Braun Institute, and we have that solution, and we will be ready, let's say, next year. But let's imagine we have it, and I promise we will have it. It's a promise about that we will have it, but you don't tell the time. We will have it. Maybe next year, hopefully next year, maybe 2021. Then everybody is fine with that, because it means you don't know. But let's imagine we have it. Then this customer would say, in that example with the robots in the use case, the same as now. That's the big thing. We are looking for that. We tried it by ourselves. We couldn't make it. We really want that. And then you don't stop and go back to develop it. No. You ask this. Okay, let's imagine it's true what you're telling us. Hey, it's really customer in front of you. What type of people do you think would most benefit from that product? And he answers, because you give him a feel of being an expert, and of course he is an expert because he describes himself. Yes, it's a customer like me, and I'm looking for that, and we have that. We have these, and that's the KPIs, and then you may ask, okay, if this spec is more than that, are you still interested? And he said no. Then other solutions are better, and then you find the description of this customer, and then you ask him, what's the main benefit? It sounds like a stupid question, but I have had one case by myself where in an exit negotiation, the potential buyer said to us, yes, it's very interesting, but in the end, you have this advantage, which we like very much. We didn't know that. In the exit negotiation. So ask him, what is the main benefit you receive from that product which is described on that paper? And then, how can we improve? Let's say if it is, are there some hints from you how we can improve it, even for you, even if you're already excited? What do you think? What should be improved? And that's possible. And that's what the US founders are doing. And the German founders have that problem of that big technological background, which is a big advantage. But you have to get this additional, let's say, power or mood to ask these questions. It's like cold calls, and I know already the problem you have. I had it before. It's the fear of being disliked. Forget about that. Make yourself free of that. Doesn't care. If this one customer says no, who cares? Go to the next one. It's a playing of statistics. Of course, with two customers you have a problem, and that's very successful. It's really successful because this changes your mindset, and not only yours, but the founders and the investors' mindset too. In that case, you may be not a company for venture capital, or a company producing products. It's more like a German Ingenieurbüro. an engineering company, which is fine. You can make a lot of money. Just develop a single customer working machines, let's say like this, and can make a lot of money. It's not a problem. But it's not what we are looking for and what most founders are looking for. Most founders would like to set up a product to sell that product independent from their time. Because then you can make money, and with that money you can make new things. If you sell just your time, it's good. You can earn a lot of money, but you will not be a multi-millionaire. And money. Why is money so interesting? Because it makes you free, gives you freedom, and it allows you to fulfill your ideas. Most of the founders don't stop working after an exit because they don't want to. Of course, they do a 6 months holiday one time, but afterwards they work again, or they finance new companies. They like working. They like performing ideas or performing ideas into products, which then solve problems not only of the customers but of the society. So let's go. I think that we have been already on the last or last page. Yeah, how do product market fit guys look like? Because that's a good question. We ask ourselves, why is it so seldom being done? And they have to be a combination of several things in one head. That's a problem. And they are analytical. So it's perfect for physicists, mathematicians, lawyers, psychologists. Very interesting group. They are empathic. Why? They have to do small talk. They have to talk to customers. They have to feel like the customers. It's very, very important. Already this combination is good, and it's not so often given. The risk-taking. They're risking their image. They're hodler. Do you know that? Who has bitcoins? Nobody. Half.
Not bitcoins.
But cryptocurrencies. Okay, it's a typo. I think 6-7 years ago, where a very early Bitcoin earner had answered in the internet, "I hold them," but he wrote "hodl" instead of "hold." So a hodler is somebody who holds bitcoins and don't sell them because he has trust in the development, in the positive development of bitcoins. They're extroverted. How you can measure extroverted? Former class speakers. Just an example. They're curious. That means neugierig, early adopter. You have to have this combination, and in one head. That's the problem. It doesn't work with one analytical guy, one empathetic guy, one risk-taking guy, and so on. It has to be in one head. But that's frequently given with founders. They are curious, they're extroverted, they're risk-taking, empathic, hopefully, analytical, hopefully. So take these tools, find the product market fit, discuss your results with experts. It's like customers. In the end, we behave like customers. Get our investment, fund your company. Have a look here. Maybe after our investment, and change the world to a better place. So thank you very much. So now I stop the video.